it was the worst year for a lot of us for our mental as well as physical health. So joining us this morning is best-selling author, coach, and fitness expert Lisa Goldenthal.
Thanks for coming to the Power Up Your Pivot 100th podcast series. Get ready to feel unstoppable, energized, resilient, unshakable, and unbreakable. Live your best life. We've all been knocked to our knees. Learn how to bounce back better, body, mind, and soul. Overcome the COVID curves and anxiety and live your best life so that you can be unstoppable, resilient, and have more energy. Set yourself up for the win. She's a lifestyle and wellness expert who helps women lose weight, get fit, and create bodies and lives they love. With over 25 million views on her YouTube channel, Tracy is a go-to for all things wellness, fitness, and inspiration. She's been featured on Good Morning America, ABC7, Business Insider, Well and Good, USA Today, Pilates Style, and more. She's a television host for the Connect Network show on CW Network, creator of Amazing Arms. In just 7 days, her signature program to help women over 40 say bye-bye to back wings. Tracy Campoli lives in Miami with her husband and 2-year-old daughter. Welcome to the show, Tracy.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Lisa. It's so great to do something like this, catch up with you and spread the word.
That's awesome. It's so great to have you. I want to jump right into the topics because it's a crazy world we're living in right now. And the new pandemic, in my opinion, is mental health and physical health. So how do we make wellness a priority in this crazy world?
I love that question. I mean, I think if anything that this last year and a half has taught us is that, your health is the best investment. Without our health, we have absolutely nothing. And making sure that we're making that a priority. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity. My father used to always say to me when I was a kid, and of course I used to roll my eyes, but he's like, Tracy, if you have your health, you don't have anything. And he's right, and so I think now more than ever, it's really seeing why it matters. Why does it matter for you?
Right.
I can use myself as an example, right? I'm a mom now. So, and I had my daughter at 44. I'm now 46. I'm going to be 47.
Go girl.
Yeah, babe. And so I'm I got to live to be 120. 100%.
Of course.
So, but that helps me because everyone, people think, people like us, you're in the wellness industry, you're a healthy person. We are wired differently. We're not. I constantly have to talk myself into the workouts. So eating healthy, I just generally do eating healthy food, makes me feel better. But, working out, making that a priority every day, I will lie in bed and be like, oh, I don't feel like doing it today. Maybe I'll just skip it. Or I'll do it later. And it's no, because then for me, I just think about the kind of mom I want to be, the kind of person I want to be. How do I want to show up in the world? And so I'm basically stepping more into my vision that can help to pull you. Or the other thing that you can do, depending on what motivates you, it's if I think about how crappy I'll feel if I don't, I'll feel like I'm letting myself down, I'm not keeping my word, I'm not, and so one of those two things, it's either we want to be pulled towards something or we want to repel something, pulling towards something that we actually want, right? That vision, that person that you want to step into, or the person that you don't want to be. Who do you not want to be? How do you not want to show up? So whichever one motivates you the most, but again, you got one shot on planet Earth. This is it.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I just interviewed another one of my experts, David Meltzer, who always says that if you have your health, that would be what he wishes for his children. And if not, they can have 1,000 wishes if they have their health. And if not, they only have that one wish. So
true. So true. I mean, it makes me emotional because I think about it, I think of my daughter and it's exactly that. If you're healthy, you can do anything, you can create, but if, God forbid you're not, you're that's the one thing that you just want. And, life is now.
Right.
Use it or lose it, right?
I love it. I love that you talk about your vision and your why being, your daughter, you want to be around for a while, and motivation and life is now. That's a great quote. I'm going to keep that one from you. Awesome quote. And now that we're talking about the topic of motivation, what are some of your top ways to find motivation? I know we discussed this a little bit, but do you want to expand upon that at all?
Yeah, I think especially when it comes to fitness, right? Let's use fitness as an example, or even eating healthy, right? Let's
Right.
start with fitness. Um, People think the big misconception is like, you gotta grind, you gotta work. And that's very like, listen, I can say this because I lived through it. It's very like 1980s, right?
Right.
Like
I've been through it.
that, totally like that shiz is over, right?
Yeah.
And to me, I think again, it's that pulling towards what you want. So if it's not fun, then don't do it, right? It doesn't mean it's not going to be challenging. It doesn't mean that a workout isn't going to kind of push you to your edge a little bit, but there's a general sense of like, oh, after I do it, feeling like, oh, it was awesome. Like that was great. It was a good challenge, as opposed to like, I absolutely hate that. Like for me personally, I hate running. You won't get me to run. I'm pretty naturally good at it, but it's like,
Yeah.
I just don't enjoy it. So I will never do that. I will walk all day long. I
Yeah,
love
me
like,
too. I love walking.
right? It's so great for you, and you can do it for the rest of your life, right? Like jumping on my mini rebounder. Those are things that are pleasurable and enjoyable for me. So it's like you have to find what works for you. Maybe for you it's a dance class, maybe it's a cycling class, or maybe it's whatever it is. But you got to find like what is fun and enjoyable for you, and that helps to keep you motivated. The other really key thing, and Lisa, I know I'm preaching to the choir with you here, but if we don't have accountability
Yeah.
with a fitness program,
Right.
the research shows that you have, and this is crazy, a 95% chance of failure if
Right.
you don't have some accountability in it.
I
Like
agree.
that to me, like is mind boggling. So, if you're thinking like you're going to do it on your own and be a lone ranger, it's like you're just setting yourself up to fail. Now, we all have lived through like this pandemic life, or living through it, right?
Right.
You don't have to necessarily have to have a trainer, there with you. Maybe that's the solution for you, but maybe it's having an online community or people, like-minded people surrounding you, so that you just have that sense of like checking in, people cheering you on, because we all have those days where it's like, I don't feel like doing it today. So those are
Right.
two really key things, is that you got to enjoy it, and you have to have some kind of support and accountability, whether that's from a trained professional or an accountability group. You could do it with something paid, something free. It doesn't matter, but please do not set yourself up for failure.
So don't be a lone wolf. And I love it that I know you have a dance background, and I know to me, I have no skills in that department, but it would be impossible for me to be dancing and be in a bad mood. So I love that you touched upon find something you love, and don't be dragging yourself to do something you don't love. Like find something that motivates you and inspires you and makes you sort of smile. Like if I'm thinking
Exactly.
around
You'll
and
never stick with it otherwise, right? Like you'll be like,
right.
it'll be like one of those things like, oh, I did that for like 2 weeks. It's like, don't do that.
All right. Well, I know we're always using this excuse, and I hate excuses. I really hate these time things because we all have the same 24 hours in the day, but we all hear it. So we're super busy. What can you do to get yourself fit if you're super busy?
That's like the biggest challenge for most people, right? Is time, lack of time, feeling like we don't have time. But how much time do we waste?
Right. I'm
Rolling
scrolling,
away.
doom scrolling.
Like it's just, so it's like you have to have that reality check. And exactly like you just said, like everybody's got the same 24 hours in the day. So the person that you look up to and admire, the busiest person, the most successful person, they still have 24 hours in a day. So, I have great news for everyone. So everyone wants to lean in and listen to this right now, because research shows that for women, especially over the age of 30, the sweet spot for working out is actually just doing 30 minutes a day.
That's awesome.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, because I used to, like, again, you said dance background. I used to work out back in the day, like when I was a dieter and like had that dancer mentality. If it wasn't a 90-minute workout, to me, I thought, oh, It's not doing anything.
I remember those days myself.
I mean, again, total like 1980s, 90s. But then I just started experimenting with what would happen if I just moved in a way that I wanted to in just 30 minutes, which felt like nothing, and that changed everything for me. And then I started doing all the research around it. And from a hormonal perspective, that's really the sweet spot. So even the busiest person, you can find 30 minutes. Now, if you're like, no, Tracy, I cannot find 30 minutes. And I know someone out there is like, you don't know me because I do 12-hour shifts, or maybe I'm a doctor or nurse or whatever. Hear me out. I have a woman that's a single mom. She runs multiple restaurants in Europe. Okay. Right. So that's a very busy, 12 hours plus being a single mom, right? She will do 3 10-minute chunks during the day, which I think is brilliant. Research shows that even just you get those mental health benefits, and you get health benefits even if you're just doing 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. And everybody can do that. I mean, that's really quick, super easy. So she'll do a little sequence while she'll put in a load of laundry and then come back to it later. I mean, we just have to seek out those little pockets of time. But I promise you, the hardest part is just getting started. I always tell women in my fitness membership, I'm like, the hardest part is just pressing play. Once you press play, it's those endorphins start going, and within a few minutes you start feeling good, and it's you're going to keep going.
Well, those are gold right there. Some of those tips are totally gold. I hope you guys are paying attention, because we have a fitness expert here, and I hate excuses too. So it's we all have the same amount of time in your day. Where are you wasting time? How can you break up your workout? And that way you're getting the endorphins several times during the day, which is the reason I love to exercise. It used to be all these other twisted, crazy reasons, but I actually really am one of those weirdos that likes to exercise, but I feel better. I always feel better. And you guys can just carve out those 30 minutes in the day. And I know you have a fabulous community. So where can people find you? And do you have any final tips on being unstoppable in your health and wellness?
Yeah. I mean, well, first of all, everything, I'm on all social media as Tracy Campoli. So you can find me there. Like we mentioned, my YouTube channel, if you just pop in my name, stuff will come up. So, there's a treasure trove of content for you to just dive into, and please do. And also, if you find me through Lisa, definitely just send me a DM, send me a message, or leave me a comment on a video. I'd love to know. But being unstoppable, I love this topic. I think it's just so powerful. It's really about deciding, this is my life. This is it. And how am I going to make the most of it right now? And I hate to keep bringing it up, but look, we've been through something that, other generations have not been through, right? Through this kind of a pandemic life and all of that. And I think, while it's been really difficult and challenging and, all of the things, right? I also think there's been a huge gift in it.
Absolutely.
People, right?
Absolutely.
In that life is now, and this is what we've got. So how do I want to show up? Who is the person that I want to show up today? And I always tell my students and my clients, it's you get to decide right now to step into that future vision of yourself that you want to create right now. In this moment, in this moment, in this moment. Look, when the perfection doesn't exist, right? So you might maybe yelled at your husband speaking for a friend, or you did something weird, right? No big deal, but life is now. Okay, great. All right, that happened. Keep it moving, step forward into that vision of that person that you want to be. And by just doing that day by day by day, micro decision after micro decision, you start creating an absolutely amazing life, amazing health, and just an amazing experience.
Well, thank you for all these wisdom bombs. You're a wealth of information on health and wellness. I hope you guys are going to get started. Just let us know if you just took this to get started and realize that the pandemic has just shown a light for me, I know, on whatever gaps are in my life. It makes you want to fix them. So if this doesn't shine a light on your health and wellness, I don't know what will. And thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming to the Power to Pivot 100th podcast launch. Whole CEO with Lisa G. After over 20 years helping people lose weight and get fit. I'm excited to announce I have found the missing link. Message me if you want to learn how to look better, feel better, and go faster with a master. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast and share it with your friends.